What's going on, y'all, man? Welcome back to your favorite anime podcast, Otaku Perspective. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my co-host. Man, we got TJ. Man, we got Theo.
What up, what up?
Man, today we're reviewing Id Invaded. Last week we reviewed... The fuck was that shit? Tokyo Revengers, man. If you ain't seen that episode, man, please go watch it, man. Tokyo Revengers. Also this week, it's going to be my week to decide what we watch next. So, of course, you know, we got Heat coming up, man. For our thoughts on Id Invaded and to see what we're going to watch next week, man, stay tuned.
Spitter, baby, give me all the currency. Ain't nobody in this rap game going hard as me. Tripled up my money, niggas say I got that pedigree. You ain't heard by now, let me introduce. I'm switch from 3. When you see me out, hella gas in rotation. I can't even count all these blunts I've been facing. Told that bitch to get up off my ass, up off my case. This ain't even that. Why you switching up the play? Like I won't pull up and dick you down and skirt off, take a race. Why you trying to check me, girl? You know that ain't your place. I've been working, I've been rolling, I'm so sorry for the wait. I've been living in the studio, like that's where I stay.
Alright, man, let's get into some little background facts on Id Invaded. It's a Nas Studio production, N-A-Z Nas Studio from 2020. 13 episodes. The My Anime List score is a 7.83. And for voice actors, we just got the main character, Akihito. And in Japanese, he's played by Kenjiro Tsuda, who plays Kento from Jujutsu Kaisen. And in English, we got Jesse James Grail, who plays Armin from Attack on Titan. Without any further ado, let's get into this first episode.
All right, man. First episode synopsis. Y'all ready? All right, man. We are introduced to Saikado, the brilliant detective, and a group of analysts helping him decipher information as he explores an Idwell, a world or realm created from the powerful intent to kill that others display. How you feeling about this first episode? Yeah.
Man, I had for my notes for the first episode, I thought it was a good episode. The OST in this episode was good. It had a couple good background tracks. And I had, you know, I guess the main question when you see this first episode is like, what is this fragmented world that they in?
Right.
You kind of get a feeling that it's like they enter somebody's mind or something because they talking about like kind of trying to track down a murder.
Right.
You know, he talks about trying to solve the murder of like the girl that we see that's dead at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, just trying to piece that together and figure out, you know, where is he?
Yeah, the first episode was so trippy to me, man. When I seen Saikado enter their world and seeing her, the bodies laying there dead, and then once I got the hint that it's gonna be like a mystery kind of anime, I don't know why it was giving like the Ellie Nora kind of vibe, video game, but just like exploring, trying to be like the detective. Like the show is based off of investigator being a detective, but I kind of felt like I was in the shoes too, trying to investigate some. All right, so what is it that he's trying to investigate and trying to actually solve the case of this mystery? But yeah, episode 1 was pretty cool. I definitely tripped out by the body, I think it was his left arm that was like cut off. So I'm like, all right, so is this gonna be how the whole show's gonna be? Like he gonna like every time you enter this ID, this Idwell, whatever, that your body's gonna be distorted or you're gonna be having missing limbs, something like that. But yeah, episode 1 definitely was cool to me.
Yeah, I had similar thoughts thinking that like all of them was gonna look like the first one we seen.
Right.
So, because I seen like the first one in the promotional art with like his body like that. So I'm like, okay, this is how the whole series gonna look. Mm-hmm. It was interesting.
Yeah. I will say for this first episode, I kind of had the same thoughts as y'all. And like looking back, I will say I feel like the first episode was like really iconic in the sense that like even when I watched it, I was like, okay, is it, you know what I mean? Is this how they gonna piece together everybody's mind or different like, you know what I mean, like Idwells that they go to? But like now looking back after everything I've seen in the show, I'm like, yes, that could have been further from the truth. Okay. But I just think that it was fraud. I did like the art style of it. I thought it was pretty cool. I really just had a lot of questions. Like when they kind of introduced like the fact that they're able to kind of like, there's like some physical like particle or something that they can track with the intent to kill, it kind of reminded me of like Psychopaths, and I thought like, okay, is this gonna be something that they able to predict? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it just like a censor and somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody get too mad in the city and they know like, oh, somebody about to kill somebody over there, or I just didn't know like to what extent it would be. So yeah, I was just kind of curious and wanted to know where they was gonna go with it.
Okay, cool. I also like to mention, I like to set in on the whole first episode, you were in like this other universe or the mind well or whatever you want to call it, and then you got the outside world where all these like this group of other intellectual individuals trying to help solve the case from the outside. I thought that was cool, and I was trying to triangulate like whether they can actually communicate with him while he's within the well or outside the well is he able to communicate. But it seems like they can just observe from the outside and just like, all right, we can put the pieces together and the information that we're gathering from his visual effects and trying to solve this case from the outside world. Because if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to figure out the murder mystery, not just within, but also actually in reality, and seeing they can say the victims and time and all.
Yeah.
Which is definitely cool to me.
That kind of tripped me up in the first episode, too, because I'm like, how the fuck you don't know where he is, and you inside his mind?
Right.
Like, you in his mind, but you don't know where he...
Yeah.
And then how he got out the basement in the first episode.
Yeah.
Because they tracked him down and, like, ran him down into the basement, and then it's a switcheroo, and, he not in the basement. He in the fucking ambulance, and then he, like, steal the ambulance and run over the girl. I'm like, how the fuck did he get out the basement?
I guess, you feel me? He just laid in that puddle of blood. You know what I mean? So they remember like the first dude they grabbed, they think, which is crazy that he would think that would work.
Right. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first seen that, when I seen that they was actually going towards the dude who was a victim, he just happened to have posed him as the murderer. I was like, oh, they ain't really
He literally like duct taped the drill till his head.
Yeah, I was like, bro, he's out of pocket. I was like, I hope they don't kill him, bro. I was like, damn, that kill, that's crazy though. But yeah, he ended up in the
put the drill down.
Right. Yeah, they definitely
duct tape to him. I can't put the down.
I knew something was off when they said put the drill down. You just heard. I said, I don't think nobody's paying attention because I don't think that's him.
Yeah, that was true. Yeah, that was definitely cool though.
Yeah, and then we see the girl that gets run over at the end of the episode. She like pops up in the fragmented world. I'm like, so these like ghosts. Like, how did she get here so fast? I'm like, is this like supposed to be ghosts? Are these people ghosts? Because we see like his victims that are there. But I guess it's like, his, in his mind, like his idea of his victims, but it's not like actually like their souls or anything, but more so, what he thought of them, basically.
So, y'all ready?
Yep.
All right. Hondo Machi, a rookie field operative, is kidnapped and taken to a safe house by the Perforator, a serial killer the unit is close to catching. Hondo Machi severely injures herself in order to create another Idwell the unit can use to determine their location.
Yeah, this episode was also cool too. I thought it was fried when Saikudo was trying to chase the actual killer. My man I was kind of tripped out because when he was running, it was like he just continuously ran. Right. And it was like he ran off the ledge, but he just magically appeared over there. I'm like, all right, cool. But then Saikudo kind of put a piece together. He was like, you know what? Maybe this world isn't just broken to pieces. It was just, in his mind, it's all connected. It's all together. Right. And he started putting it together with his, like, I don't know, extended arm, if you want to call it, and just trying to put the pieces together. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. It's a little trippy and all that. But aside from that scene where Harumachi was, like, putting pieces together, and she kind of, like, result to, like, you know what? In order for me to help solve this case from the well, I got also put the drill in my head, which I thought that was wild because I was like, I don't know if I can do that, but you know what I'm saying.
I would not be able to do nothing like that.
Right. But that was definitely cool though, of her doing that because she was like some sort of rookie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she literally was a rookie.
Yeah, but yeah, episode 2 was kind of cool. Then we seen first appearance of John Walker, and I'm pretty sure Saikudo was like. Then he had like some sort of quick rage about him.
He instantly like recognized him. He was like, this nigga.
Right. Which makes me wonder how you know who John Walker is though. But I mean, episode 2 was cool though.
But I thought episode 2 was pretty cool. I was really just curious as to like one of my first questions in the first episode was like, okay, if he goes to different Idwells, like does he forget? You know what I mean? Is he like having amnesia every time? And I guess, him visiting the second one, that was confirmed. I thought that was kind of weird because I'm like, I guess it kind of threw me off, but now looking back on it, I see that like the mystery within the Idwell really was it really doesn't matter for real. Like they just need the world. They just need to observe the world to get clues about the killer. Yeah. So now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But during it was definitely throwing me off because like in the second Idwell, they went in there. For me, Cairo was like hanging, and there's like no mystery solved. I'm like, cause what's going on? Right. But yeah, but I thought it was cool, and I feel like I really started to like Hondo Machi's character, and this was like the first instance where I was like, she not playing around. Like she's definitely, I don't know if you call it courageous or reckless. Like you feel me? Because I'm like, for her to put them pieces together and think like, all right, if I do this, they'll be able to get my location, and you know what I mean. But just like you said, like having enough guts to jump head first in a drill is crazy.
Yeah, because even Buddy was like, man, everybody do, so not all of them survive, but the lucky ones, they survive. I just happened to survive, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. So she's like straight up diced it, said, if I make it, cool. If I don't,
literally, she threw the dice on that one. Yeah. And I think also, later in this episode, they give us more information about Psychodo, and they, basically tell us that, like, up to this point, he's, like, driven, like, 4 people to suicide, so that's why they call him a serial killer, which was kind of throwing me off, because I'm like, is he really a killer? Like, you know what I mean? But also, I was curious as, like, okay, like, what's his backstory, and, like, how, like, how smart and cunning is he? You know what I mean? Because I'm, like, intentionally trying to make somebody kill suicide and being actually successful in that, I feel like is like really far-fetched and crazy to think about. Like somebody being able to talk you to a point where you like within a matter of days or some small time frame you're committing suicide, I felt like was crazy. So I was just curious to see like what was going on with that.
Yeah, and I was also, now that you said that, wondering, I was like, all right, every time you enter the Idwell, he always says, all right, I'm Psycho though. I'm the brilliant investigator. I'm like, all right, are you really a brilliant investigator? Or are you just that because you're in that world and you think that? And it's like, it kind of just made me wonder, what are you really though? So, yeah, it was cool though. I like that concept though, especially every time he repeated those same lines. It definitely got annoying, but over time, like once we get to a certain episode, we figure out like it literally supposed to happen. That's how it's designed to be. I'm like, all right, I'm fine with that then. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's such a weird setup.
Yeah.
I definitely had a feeling like after this episode that John Walker was going to be like the big overarching bad guy. Yeah. He definitely like had that feeling after this episode. Yep. And then I was kind of questioning like, is the MC in jail or something? Because you see him like he gets out the chair in this episode and they like put him in cuffs and take him back to his cell. And I think they like allude to his family being dead. So I'm like, did he kill his family? Is that why he's in jail? Yep. But those are, like, the big questions I had on this episode for, like, stuff we didn't hit on.
Yeah. He also says, when he sees the dead girl, he's like, you're Kairu, but you're not Kairu. And I'm like, well, who's that supposed to be? But I'm trying to, like, piece out the whole time. It's like he says that every single time he enters. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, is she just the main, like, source of this whole like universe that he's in? Is Idwell? Because obviously he's just trying to figure out why is it said individual died a certain death. Whether she got a drill in her head, whether she's hanging, where she got a knife in her or something like that. It's all right. What is it pertaining about this character that resembles so much of the character he knows, whether inside outside of the world that he's at? So I was also questioning that throughout the whole series up to a certain point.
Yeah. And I will say, like, just to touch on that, I feel like throughout a lot of the show, I thought it was based off of, like, his subconscious. Okay. Because, like you said, there is, like, later on in the show, he does have, like, different points where he comments and says, like, this is Kairu, but I think he, like, specifically says, like, this isn't my daughter. And at that moment, I thought, like, okay, maybe, I'm like, okay, maybe this Kairu person is just, like, like the machine or the technology just using somebody close to him, like his daughter that died, and giving it that face. So, to give him motivation or whatever to actually solve it. That's what I thought was going on.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. All right, y'all ready? Mm-hmm. All right, episode 3. Immediately following the bombing of a building, Psychodo enters the Idwell of the pyrotechnician. After solving the sniper tower puzzle in the Idwell, Psychodo drives the pyrotechnician to suicide by confronting him and exposing the inconsistencies within his personal ideology. Yeah, man. This episode 3, we definitely got more information about just like what, I guess like the Idwell itself. Like we find out they're basically like pilots, and it's, you know what I mean. It doesn't have to be Psychodo. Like, it could be any person would be a pilot, and they would be like a brilliant detective or whatever.
Well, you have to have killed somebody, right?
Yeah, I was
Well, yeah, like you have to actually be a serial killer to go in the Idwell. But you know what I mean. I'm like anybody that is a pilot.
One person at least.
Which is funny to me because I don't think it's this episode. I think it's a couple episodes down. I think I'm bringing it up, but it has to do with Hatomachi though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He kind of was like, huh? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. Also, it also threw me off that Hondo Machi's partner, the older guy.
Yeah.
He was. He had like made a comment about Psychodo. And you know what I mean? He had called him like a monster or something. Mm-hmm. And I guess just were like referring to him driving people like the pyrotechnician and other people to suicide.
Right.
But like, you know what I mean? Like in the next sentence he says like, yeah, he lost his family to another serial killer. So like I had just wrote a note. I'm like, how are you hating on a nigga whose family was murdered? You know what I mean? I'm like, if he's not out here, you know what I mean, like picking innocent victims, yes, all killing is wrong, but I'm like, for you to be chasing serial killers and you got somebody like him that's jumping in Idwells that obviously is good at their job, they helping you catch other serial killers. I'm like, how, you know what I mean? Like, how could you have so much like disdain or like literally with the words he used in the sub was like, I have disdain for this nigga. I'm like, bro, how could you hate on him? And he helping you and his family was murdered. You know what I mean? Right. So it was just throwing me off. And yeah, I will say throughout the show, I really did not like his character. I really did like his character. Yeah, I didn't grow to like him either. So.
Yeah, low-key on the fence line, even all the way towards the end, just like, damn, bro, I don't hate you, I don't like you, bro. You're not my character. You're not my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea character.
No, not at all. But the episode 3 was definitely cool. I thought it was interesting how the pyrotechnician, I'm pretty sure it was him, they got the victims in the barrel. Was it in the barrels?
No. This was the one day where he was blowing up the buildings.
Oh yeah, with the buildings.
Yeah.
But when,
and then the Idwell was like
inside the buildings on fire and shit.
No. See, so this one for him, the Idwell was like they was like on that tower and it was like the waterfall and people kept getting sniped.
Oh,
you feel me? And he was like, "What's going on? What's going?" Yeah, because and that threw me off too.
Was
like,
wild.
Yeah, I'm like a lot of the Idwells were not connected to like the actual crimes, which was throwing me off a little bit.
All right, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Now, yeah, that episode was definitely crazy. When he was in there, it was like everybody's getting popped. I'm like, bro, what is this? The way how Psychodo was dissecting, it's like, all right, after like his 4th or 5th death, and it's like, okay, this dude's just crawling around, but he ain't getting sniped. Everybody else is like. All right, let me dictate. All right, he's moving, they're moving, but he's not getting shot. They're getting shot, but they're getting shot at a certain angle, a certain like movement of the tower. He's like the tower is rotating, or he's moving. Nah, he ain't moving that fast. Just to accurately snipe everybody. Right, he's like it has to be the tower is moving, and he just knows the outline, like what formation to move in. Right. Next thing you know, you see Buddy just straight up walk right behind him, and he kind of just like picked up on it. It's like. Now you done got me, bro. It's like, yeah. That episode was definitely cool, though, for all that matter goes. But, yeah, it was also wild to me, that whole scene where Psychodo did drive him to suicide. Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting how he did that.
Yeah, I had like crazy episode with like a war photographer with like interesting PTSD to where he had basically this whole complex of like wanting to be like the lone survivor type thing, and that's kind of manifested in the subconscious with this Idwell, which I thought was one of the more like entertaining ones that we went to, definitely more so than the one that we saw in the first episode. And also it was interesting, they talked about how you can't enter like your own Idwell or kind of like collapse in on itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I have for this episode.
All right, man. 4.
Yep.
All right, episode 4. After Psycho is sent to solitary confinement, the unit tries to substitute him with the Perforator. But following days of unsuccessful Idwell attempts, Psycho is called upon again to help catch a serial killer they believe to be the Gravedigger. This episode, trying to think. Yeah, so this was the episode where we kind of talked about this off camera, but this is the episode where I started to really feel like it might be kind of defeating the purpose of itself to be investigating. You know what I mean? Like somebody's subconscious, but every time they go in, they don't have any memory. Right. And this was I believe this was the episode with the building blowing up where I was like, you know what I mean? Where we just watching a montage of him getting spawn trapped, and I'm like, how, you know what I mean? I'm like,
that was so annoying. It's like, bro, there's no way he's gonna get out of it if he don't know what happened last time.
Exactly. So yeah, I was definitely getting a little annoyed with that one, and they even like comment, and I wrote in my notes, I'm like, bro, this nigga kept dying on the same spot for 6 hours. Like, they literally stop and they take a break. They're like, you good, bro? And even Jordan was like, this is what he was like, yeah, I just shit on myself, but I'm cool. And then he was like, yeah, you been going for 6 hours, man. Take a little break. I'm like, bro, somebody give this nigga his memories back so he can know when, you know what I mean? Like what he's looking for or what's going on. But, yeah.
Even the chief came in there and was like, I need to take a break.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that was fine, though.
Yeah, I had for this episode, I was like, the little live stream shit, that the show would definitely be getting cut off.
Yeah, right.
The little girl. And,
I was like,
wild,
forget their IP address. No, it's, this one also a good OST. That had I think it was like during like the... When he finally is like jumping over the shit like Jason Bourne, and he's like saving the little girl. They played a nice little song. Mm-hmm. I liked how they found out that he was like a copycat killer. It wasn't like the original like Gravedigger. And again, I had like this is another entertaining like Idwell that we got to visit.
Yeah, I will say I definitely was confused because like we had said. With the last episode of Idwell, I wrote down, like, what does fire got to do with a bitch being buried alive?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm watching it like, I thought Shorty was in a barrel. Like, what's going on?
She said, like, I guess she had seen him, like, set his house on fire.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, after this episode, for me, it kind of dawned on me, like, that the show, I kind of assumed the show would take, like, an easier route with it. You know what I mean? Where, like, if it's a serial killer that's, you know what I mean? If it's a serial killer that's killing people with one method, I would just assume, like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, his trauma or his subconscious mind would be, like, filled with, like, things around this method of killing or vice versa. But it's, like, I guess the show went a different route where it was, you know what I mean? Just showing that, humans can be a bit more complex. And it's, like, that's not really always the case. Because, like we say with this episode, I was like, what is going on? But once we get to the end and we see, like, oh, he basically burned his family alive and, was taking revenge on her, then it kind of made sense to me like, oh, okay, now I see why this, the Idwell looks this way. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, but it definitely was throwing me off. I will say, like, earlier in the show, like, first few episodes, I was like, like, what's going on? Like, the killer didn't do anything concerning this. Like, does this have to do with anything? But I like how they were able to kind of show you a lot of the times they were able to show you how a killer, how the Idwell would, like, relate to the killer and their methods or whatever.
Yeah. Up to this point, the show definitely got me sucked in on, like, the investigating portion of it, because I was, the whole time, just, like, watching them, like, all right, I ain't taking no notes, because I'm trying to investigate this shit. Bro, that's the prime part, and I was, like, so sucked in, I don't even feel like writing the notes down. Just getting to the point of them, like, this person killed this person.
Yeah.
We got to figure out inside the Idwell, but also on the outside, we got to get the evidence. And I'm just I don't know what it was about it, because that's why I put in the group chat, and I was just like, bro, what? Like, this show is low-key nice. I'm not gonna lie, though. But, episode 4 was definitely cool to me, man. After they did catch the copycat killer, I was all right, cool, great. Great, grand, beautiful. But I'm pretty sure towards the end of this episode, that's when Harumachi had actually seen one of the victims, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh, damn. She about to get got, because that's how she got her ass the second episode.
Hey, I thought the same thing. I'm like, why are you chasing this unknown man in the alley?
Bruh, again. I was like, oh, man, here we go. But I'm pretty sure towards the episode, which was wild to me, because and it's funny because it never really brought out the ages of these characters. Mm-hmm. So I kind of figured she was like some sort of like high schooler or something like that. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure towards this episode or beginning of the next one.
Yes, the next one, you find out she like 23.
Yeah, 23, right? But like at the very end of this, she pretty much like confronts him, and he kind of, it like he's about to kill her, and then he just straight goes in for a kiss, and I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, what kind of character is this?
I definitely had notes on that for the next episode. I'm like, bro, he kiss when he want to kill. What he do when he want to do something else to you? What do we do?
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah. That was my takeaway for the episode. Just like, all right, so where do we go from here? Because she's pretty much dumbfounded by it, and then I'm like, all right, she gonna go after him, or what is it gonna be?
The episode cut off. I'm like,
yeah.
Week to week, it probably was fraud. I know people was like, huh?
Right, like, what is this? But all the way up to episode 4 is pretty cool though. I ain't got nothing to say episode 5.
The twist at the end was interesting. We find out like it's a recording and they already too late.
Right, she had been passed away.
That was crazy.
Dude, that was sad. I ain't gonna lie.
I was like, what?
That was hella sad. I was like, damn, what a sick fuck.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of this horror movie called the Poughkeepsie tapes. They got like a scene just like that. It was like a dead girl in a barrel. Mm-hmm. It's fucked though.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Damn.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, that's all I got for 4.
All right, man. 5.
Yo.
Episode 5. After the copycat gravedigger is caught, Hondo Machi spots a suspicious onlooker, one of the perforator's victims, and chases him down. With the resulting cognition particles, Psychido is able to enter a new id well. Episode 5.
Yeah, I had this id well was boring.
This is the one where Psychido went in there. Kyrie was stabbed, but look underneath this old girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was kind of wild.
I'm about to say it's fraud. I didn't really have a lot of notes on the id well itself. I feel like it was just a bit. I'm not sure what to really make of it. I mean, like, I thought it was kind of cool though. Like, you know what I mean? At first, he had like fell onto the island. It's, you know what I mean? It's floating, or not floating, but it's like perpetually falling or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? At first, I was kind of like, it's kind of boring. But after bro went up under the island, he like fighting upside down. I'm like, okay, this shit kind of hard. I'm like, okay, this shit kind of cool. But yeah, like, you know what I mean? We see John Walker in there. He skedaddle up out of there. So I feel like this episode really was just kind of cementing like John Walker has basically had a hand in all the serial killers up until now, as well as, you know what I mean, like the investigators in the unit telling us before this that they've been seeing him as well. So it just kind of, like Jordan said, was kind of, I feel like about this episode I was really like, yeah, this is going to be like the big bad villain, or, you know what I mean, like some major plot points or twists are going to come from this person. And also, even with like the Jigsaw world, you know what I mean, people cut in half, or like the other Idwell, people are burned up. The John Walker was the only person whose face was like purposely distorted, like to a point where like, you know what I mean, they wouldn't be able to use no technology. So that's when I kind of gave me a hint, like, yeah, this has got to be somebody with, you know what I mean, like a bit more information or like a bit more equipment or technology, and this isn't just, you know what I mean, like some random. Because at first I was thinking like maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody was raising orphans and he was just, you know what I mean, like a bad parent or something, and he created a bunch of serial killers, or that's what I was thinking at first. But once I seen that, I'm like, okay, nah, this has got to be like somebody artificially doing this.
Right.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's really, that's all I have for episode 5.
Yeah.
The reveal that the gravedigger was 2 people was interesting.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was not expecting. I did have that written down. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, that was pretty wild on then. But that's all I was saying before, the barrels and shit blowing up in that house.
Yes.
I was like, oh fuck, they all
that was
dead.
a
And
good
then the
one.
one detective that was at the building who always with everybody who was there, I'm like, he's really about to die. So I mean, so that was kind of cool seeing that. So all right, characters do down here even outside the Idwell was kind of cool to see. The whole dialogue with Hanamachi and old girl was kind of interesting because the whole time, like, all right, she's trying to like narrow and pick her brains. So, okay, I feel like you are the killer, but the whole time I wasn't really thinking about it.
Right,
I'm just
exactly.
watching. I'm like, all right, she's kind of just going through the motion. Okay, you kind of knew said individual victims because you went to school with them, all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. And then next thing you know, she's like, I got a few questions for you though. You knew this person, all right, cool. You actually like you're like said this kind of individual like seeing people get killed and shit like that. I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And next thing you know, Buddy's up top in the second staircase, just like listening. And I was like, oh, it's over, man. I definitely thought Hanamachi was gonna die right there because he just came down, and it was fried though. Because when my man was dodging those bullets, I was like, bro, this this ain't inside the Idwell. This is the real world right now. So I was waiting to just
that's the next episode. That's six.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that's episode 6.
Oh no.
Nah, that probably was my favorite episode. I ain't gonna lie. That my show was hard. Man, this nigga moving like Jason Bourne and shit.
That shit was wild. And then that one bullet went through the little hole. I was like, what?
I'm like, nigga, talk about some bullshit.
Talk about some bullshit, right?
It's rolling?
Yeah, it's rolling still.
Mm-hmm.
Damn light just turned off.
Oh, okay, baby. All right, so y'all want to just jump into 6 now?
Yeah, that's cool. Pretty much pick us after that.
All right, bet.
Cause it's like a 2-parter, ain't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they did kind of. Yeah, like the 5th one ended off on that kind of cliffhanger of like them finding it out, and then 6 was
right after she stabs bro, right?
What? No.
This
5 ends off with her like confronting her, like arrest her.
Okay,
You know what I mean? And then 6 is basically that whole fight.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like the funeral at the front, I think, and then it's the fight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, episode 6. The investigation unit is faced with new questions concerning the Mizuhaname and a mysterious figure, John Walker, who is seemingly creating serial killers. Hondo Machi is able to deduce the true identities of the mastermind and henchman team behind the Gravedigger. A shootout ensues where Hondo Machi is forced to kill Kazuta. This episode with the like just after the funeral with the bombing and stuff, the whole team talking and basically like with them with me already knowing like this is a unit of the police that a lot of people don't know about, and then them talking like, yeah, we can't get more information, we're gonna have to ask, you know what I mean, the higher ups, and we gotta go through certain channels. I literally had written down like it's gotta be either the creator of the Mizuhaname, or I thought maybe like the chief, or you know what I mean, like somebody high up in either the government or the police system that was the John Walker, because I'm like the information is so hard to come by that, you know what I mean, it kind of like puts all the suspects in a small group of who could even be a suspect, because you know what I mean, like not a lot of people know about like how to become a pilot or you know what I mean, even how to, you know what I mean, work it or different things like that. So yeah, I was just kind of, I knew like off the rap, I was like, yeah, bro, it's got to be one of them.
Yeah, cause I definitely thought it was the director.
They said the creator had disappeared, so I thought it was him. I was like, even the picture they showed didn't really look like the John Walker or whatever. I was like, nah, bro, that's got to be this nigga. Because I'm like, who else would know how to be able to do that? You know what I mean?
But at the same time, I would think because even if it wasn't him, what we seen when they go to Idwell, their appearance kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Psycho, though, he's pretty much like old. I mean, not old, but you know,
yeah,
he's like
yeah. I will say in the reality he's older,
but in Idwell, he's like a younger
young
version of him, much more clean fit, just like we see the Perforator.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a hole in his head when we get to that, so he
up.
goes in. He's like a normal individual. So that would probably be like a good theory to think of it. Like, well, yeah, he's older in the outside world, but inside world, he probably in his prime or something like that.
Right.
So that's kind of what I was dictating to from that one. But yeah, it was definitely a cool episode. I thought it was interesting them them saying like, damn, the John Walker could be ain't one of us, you know, shit like that.
Right.
Which I was like, well, damn, I wouldn't think it could be any of y'all because all of y'all are always in the same room together going to Idwell. So I mean, maybe
Right.
off screen, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was kind of interesting they brought that up. And then the forensics team find the mics and the cameras in the houses of all the individuals. And it's all right. So John Walker is pretty much analyzing, all right, everybody, I feel like that he was just analyzing, all right, everybody I said to be killers, like how well they did, how well they executed their kills. And is it to his liking and all that. So I was kind of thinking that way for episode 6. So I was like, all right, John Walker is obviously like a high intellectual individual.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I'll put up with like the Lelouch or L like something like that, but he's definitely like very smart and thinking outside the box when it comes to like these killings and all.
Yeah.
So I think the whole end game is him was like not actually being a killer, but just orchestrating it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, freaky money.
Yeah, I had the female gravediggers, her Idwell in this episode was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then we see at the end, the little female detective, she's going to be, you know, jumping into Idwells and stuff now, so they're going to get her signed up for that. I think that's like more towards the end of this episode.
Yeah.
But those are definitely like my 2 big takeaways. And then, of course, the fight. The fight was cool.
Yeah, it was lit.
That bitch, yeah, she definitely needs to go into Idwells because her aim is terrible. I don't know about her being a field opera. Dude aim with the knives was literally better than her aim with a gun.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, get her out the field.
Yeah, that definitely threw me out. I put that down. I'm like, this nigga a trained assailant now? I'm like, they never said he was in no police force, military, nothing. They said he was fresh out of high school, kidnapped, and now this nigga is dodging bullets. I'm like, yeah, he wildin', bro. No, it was a cool fight though. I did like it.
Yeah, I definitely kind of rolled my eyes a little bit. I was like, man, she gotta kill him at some point with these bullets.
Man.
Boy. And then just to see the bullet goes straight through his head, that hole was like
Yeah.
fake. But hey,
I was like,
it is,
I seen that. I said, damn, her aim too good. Damn.
Oh, too good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
She hit him right in the hole.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy though. I kind of
Hey, yo.
hey, yo. I kind of did like the old man when he kind of like recommended Hanamachi to be part of the group, and his whole dialogue was like, you know, I recruit, even though you're not a serial killer, I feel like the fact that you killed the dude, I think you got some sort of excitement or emotion out of it, you know, killing him. She kind of just like hesitant. And kind of like, well, no,
She was like, nah.
That's not the case. And he's like, are you sure that's not the case? Because I'm sure when you stuck the knife in him, you know, it says otherwise. And I'm like, okay, so she gonna become like a serial killer outside or inside of Idwell? So that was another interesting fact about that. And he also showed like a huge disgust and even recommended her in that. Because he kind of was like, man, I'm putting you in a group of people that are actually killers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not doing this for the sake of you. I'm doing it for the sake of my peers and all that.
Well,
stuff.
he really was like, you feel me? He like, nah, we need to get you off the streets.
Yeah.
So, hey, don't think I'm doing this because I fuck with you.
Right.
I'm doing this, bitch, because, you look like you having too much fun out there. It's time to put your ass up. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Which threw me off again because I'm like, nigga, she was just in there saving your life. I'm like, that nigga took 2 or 3 shots, and we ain't heard from that nigga since.
Right.
I'm like, bro had to run by you to jump in her face. You ain't shoot nothing.
Bro.
So, he's fraud. All right, y'all ready? Episode 7, man.
Episode 7.
All right. As Hondo Machi goes into Psychodo's Idwell and starts to investigate, the director of the investigation unit, Momoki, is arrested and charged with the murder of the inventor of the Mizu Haname, as well as creating serial killers and being the mysterious figure John Walker.
Oh man, as soon as I seen that, I was like, this is bullshit. That's literally my reaction. It's like, bro, there's no way, man. There ain't no way. Even just as an audience member, I don't think him as a character that we seen on screen will have the audacity to do something that they would just project him to be. And as soon as the chief walked in there, I'm like, I feel like you, John Walker, bro. I have a huge hunch that you're John Walker. But I mean, it was kind of cool though. They kind of showed like, yeah, John Walker outfit is in his home, got a body that's outside his house, buried. So he's clearly the one who killed the director of this whole operation. And I was like, well, damn, that's kind of fucked. And then we seen the reaction of Psycho when they told him that, yeah, your buddy that you was cool on police force, he's John Walker. He's like, what evidence y'all have?
Right.
My man threw the whole table. So I was
pull
like,
that evidence out.
boy, he threw the whole table. They was like, which I was kind of confused why they bugging out, because it's like, y'all know he ain't a real killer, right? He just happened to have these people kill themselves because he just, I guess, talked them into it,
right?
Because they were serial killers. But when that one kid pointed a gun, and I was like, bro, put the gun down, man. He's not your real enemy. Y'all literally putting this man through hell and back just to go through these idwells and solve these cases for you guys. So that was kind of my ick for that one, which is fried. And yeah, that's what I got for that one.
Yeah, I will say for episode 7, I kind of felt the same way. Like when he got accused, I literally was like, yeah, there's no way this nigga's John Walker. Yeah. But also I will say, like, it was fried because he didn't even, like, acknowledge them in the room. Like, they bust in the room, they like, hey, you under arrest. He look at him like, yeah, whatever, man. Hey, she doing all right? And so that's why it kind of threw me off, because I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, because he never openly denied it. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, is he just kind of like, is he just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck it, he don't care? Yep. Or does he know, you know what I mean? Or is he really innocent and he like, whatever the case may be? Mm-hmm. So it did kind of leave it like up in the air, because I was like, well, shit, he could be. You know what I mean? Like, he never denied it, because I'm thinking, you accuse me of something like that, I'm like, you crazy. I ain't did, you know what I mean? So, but yeah. So, yeah, that's really all I have for that episode. Yeah. That, and also I put, like, Hondo Machi. I feel like she was a good detective as far as, like, her first time in the Idwell, especially being psychodos and, like, one we hadn't seen with the lightning and stuff. Like, her being able to, you know what I mean, figure it out. Cool. Yeah, I definitely, you know what I mean, she showed, like, that she was intelligent and she was able to, like, make good deductions, and she was real observant. So I thought that was cool, and I figured, like, going forward, she'll probably be better than the perforator in there. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, she'll be a good detective as far as, like, helping solve stuff.
Yeah, and I ain't write that down for, like, the Idwell that they was in there. So that was kind of cool, though, with the lightning and all that stuff.
The numbers on the ground.
Yeah, the numbers on the ground. When I seen the numbers, I'm like, all right, this, like, what is this supposed to mean? It's, like, actual math problem. I'm trying to figure out watching the show, which is fried. And then she was like, you know what? We look at every spot, seeing, okay, lightning don't strike twice, because if it did, it would keep hitting the same spots. So you see the victims are laying that. And then she kind of was breaking down. So, all right, lightning strikes on the first second number, then on the ninth, and they kind of deduce it down. So, all right, it's 9.03 hundredths of a second that actually strikes. So I was like, all right, okay, so that's cool. So, like I said, she's definitely got the intellectuals, being like an actual brilliant investigator in the Idwell and outside, as a matter of fact. So, but yeah, that Idwell is probably like my favorite one by far up to this point.
It was a really good one. I had all the same stuff. I just like the mission to track down John Walker continues, because you definitely get that feeling that, like, that ain't him.
This ain't it.
With a real John Walker, please stand up, man.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I thought it was interesting they showed Psychodo's wife and daughter in there. I thought that was pretty interesting. Because in my head, I was like, I don't think Hadamachi actually know who they are.
Yeah.
Even on the outside world, I don't think she knows. But for some reason, in my head, I was like, what if she mentions it to them? And how would that disrupt the Idwell, like, algorithm? Like, would that shut down? Or what would that do to her on the inside? Would it trap her? But I thought it was kind of interesting seeing those two in there.
Yeah, I like the little outfit that she had in there, too, like the hat and shit.
Oh, yeah, the hat,
swag,
investigator.
Sherlock Holmes swag.
Swear I was just about to say that.
Kind of like detective looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, man. Episode 8. Hondo Machi becomes unreachable after entering an Idwell within an Idwell. The unit tries to use the perforator to manually extract her. This fails, and the unit tries to deploy both Psychido and the Perforator inside Momoki's Idwell in hopes that it is connected to the one Hondo Machi is trapped in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this episode's pretty good. I actually really like this episode because I was definitely counting down when is Buddy gonna betray Psychido. I was really counting down when is he gonna betray him or what is it he's gonna do, because obviously we hear on the basis that they have no memories on the outside world. Well, they know who they are, but like as far as like what's going on and everything, like okay, how is this gonna progress through?
Right.
And the fact that Psychido was kind of like pretty smart and knowing what setting they are in the desert, and he kind of he said a few times, so it's not about me actually surviving. Like, I can die, but I don't want to die every time, you know. So I got to figure out a way how we can survive. And I thought it was pretty interesting. He said, "Yeah, we got pee on our clothes to keep us, you know, cool down." And I was like, even the perpetrator was like, "Bro, what?" He's like, "Hey man, this change water."
About, man,
like,
if you ain't know how to survive in the desert,
hey,
you know after this episode,
you
man,
know how to
first step, man, pee on your clothes, man, wrap them over your head.
Yeah, that was wild.
No, yeah, that definitely was crazy. I mean, everything you're saying was made sense because I thought about it, but I'm like, I would never think like to do that, but nah, it definitely was fried.
Yeah. The whole episode 8 is definitely pretty cool to me. Even in the real world, once they start figuring out like, hey, what you guys are in, like, it's a trap. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, okay. So it just the mystery keeps unfolding. I feel like every episode is always something.
Right.
With whatever the main objective is, there's always a second objective and maybe a third objective for the mystery. Whether it's inside the Idwell or just the characters trying to figure out their sole purpose, and then kind of like triangulates with another plot point of that episode that leads to the main plot, which I was like, all right, it gets to a point where, at least for me, there was like so much going on, or a little bit too much, at least for me. Yeah. Because I mean, yes, I'm super invested. Yes, I'm super invested in the show as far as like the investigation and mystery aspect, but I feel like there was times where it's like a little bit too much going on. Not that I can't follow, but it was just too much for me.
And this was the one they trying to track down Buddy, and he had like the little winery or whatever.
The winery.
Basement with the barrels that had the gasoline in it.
No.
That was a different one.
This episode 8, this was basically, remember when she got basically stuck? She went in Psychido's Idwell, got stuck in there. They, I guess, had found cognition particles in Momoki's house. So they like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, which I don't know why they thought they would be connected. But, you feel me? They like, hey, it might be connected. So they sent them both in there at the same time in that one Idwell. And they was like in the desert and shit.
Okay, he said trap. I'm thinking about that one trap. That was a good one. For this one, I had thought it was interesting that they were sending them both in.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was, that was possible. And then definitely once they find a device inside the Idwell, and then we see with Momoki or whatever, you're like, hell no, get him out of there, bring him back.
Right.
And I'll say, oh yeah, and then we see bro by sitting in the seat. You know, oh shit, what's about to happen now?
Too late. Yeah.
Because they got one of these motherfuckers inside the damn dream. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm about to say, I did have that written down. I'm like, Idwell within an Idwell is bonkers, bro.
Right.
Like, that shouldn't even be possible. One.
Right.
So that was definitely throwing me off. But yeah, I will say, like you said, like towards the end of the episode, when they basically confront Momoki about it, and he's in like, once I seen him like kind of spaz out, and he like, no, it's a trap. That kind of confirmed for me, like, okay, he is getting set up. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He's like, there shouldn't be no cognition particles in my house, nigga. I ain't killed nobody.
Right.
That's not me. Somebody set me up. That was kind of like the confirmation for me. Because, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, if that was really him, he would, you know what I mean? He would be like, all right, whatever. But after seeing the way he reacted, I'm like, right. Like Jordan said, I was like, okay, so the hunt for John Walker is definitely still on. We're definitely still looking for that man. So, yeah.
Yeah. I do want to point out, or at least ask you guys, how do you guys feel about the concept of each death that we've seen every time they go in Idwell? Like when I say that, do you guys say like, all right,
um,
do y'all think that's a cool concept that they're
What?
doing like for the show? Like every time they go in there, it's always different. So like whether Haru stabbed, like when she was on the train, it was just a loop, and she was just sitting there, and I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting because he was kind of like dissecting.
Oh,
trying to
you
figure
mean
that
you
stuff
mean
out.
like Kairu's death?
Yeah, Kyrie's
Yeah.
death. Yeah.
Oh
How
yeah.
you guys like that concept that they was utilizing throughout this, like up to this
It was
point?
alright.
Yeah, it was cool. I feel like looking back on the entirety of the show, like obviously once you get towards the last few episodes, you understand
yeah,
why
so
that is. But I will say, like up until that point, like I said earlier, I thought it was just like a projection of like Psychodo's subconscious. And then once I seen everybody was seeing Kairu, I'm like, okay, well, man, she wasn't all their daughter, so
Right.
you know what I mean. Then it just kind of I was just kind of confused or just curious as to why like she was so like part and parcel with the worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like why it wasn't a different victim every time, or you know what I mean, just like different things. But it was like always the center of her, and she was always dead. That was definitely throwing me off, and I thought that was hella weird. But I mean, it was cool. As I said, like looking back on it, I understand it, but I would say like watching it, it was just kind of like something like the amnesia. I was just like, it's just part of the system. You know what I mean? I just figured it was just part of how they had it set up.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it mostly just when they use use her death to like solve the mystery, like in the sniper episode where she like pointing to like where the sniper is.
Yeah.
So the couple of times where her death actually like played a role in solving the mystery, I liked it those times. But for the most part, it was just whatever.
Yeah.
They would just find ways to make it fit like the theme of the It Will.
Right.
It was hard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because every time I seen her different deaths, I'm like, all right, how much do these play for like the plot of that episode, or like for a bigger plot, like who John Walker is, and like each killer we see, is it just dedicated to them? They play for a bigger picture. Because every time I just keep getting lost, especially when he mentions like, man, that she looks like my daughter or whatever. And I was like, all right, okay, so your daughter died, or you envision this every time, or you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Definitely was throwing me off.
yeah.
That's it. 8.
Yep.
Yeah, it was 8.
All right. Yep. Episode 9. Episode 9. Upon entering the Idwell, inside an Idwell, Psychodo awakes in a non-distorted world of the past where he is able to prevent his family's destruction as well as learn more about Kiki, who seems to play an integral part. As far as this episode, I thought it was cool. I know we had talked about it like kind of off camera, but just Psychodo really challenging the challenger, man, standing 10 toes down. I thought that was cool, but also, you know what I mean? I definitely didn't expect the show to like. I thought Momoki would like come in or something and arrest him, but just
I did too, bro.
Seeing him like. Seeing him fight somebody that's like way outclasses him, but also shooting this nigga at the same time was crazy. I thought it was just funny. I thought it was interesting. And I definitely was confused a bit towards the end of the episode because, you know what I mean, like going in, Psychodo had told bro, like, hey, wake me up in 10 minutes. But like throughout the episode, this nigga keep going to sleep and waking up. So I thought like, you know what I mean? Like, is he trapped in here now? You know what I mean? Like, is he not coming out? Like, or what's going on? I definitely was just a little confused, but I thought it was cool. Like, you know what I mean? Seeing him, I guess, like, seeing the different things he changed and, like, the good that he was able to do as far as, like, taking out the serial killers and, like, you know what I mean, saving his family. I thought that was cool because this whole time we see him, like, in the cell, and we obviously see, like, that should ruin that nigga life, like him losing his family and his wife and stuff. So just seeing him being able to save them, I thought that was cool, and it made me like really like his character more because I guess it's one thing, you know what I mean, for the show to tell you like, hey, this character cares about these characters, but to see him like to see how much it meant to him and like just to see like it seems so realistic, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, if I went back in the past and I had information that could save somebody I love, you know what I mean? That'd be the first thing I was doing. So I thought that was cool that he was like, he woke up and instantly was like, hey, this might not matter. This definitely not reality. But even now, I'm about to enjoy stopping this nigga. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. But
Yeah, I was forever lost in this episode because I was like, okay, he went into Idwell, and obviously he's pretty much back in time. He wakes up and see his wife and everything. So I'm like, all right. So he goes see his daughter. So I'm kind of like, all right, he don't realize, like, hey, man, this world right here isn't real. So I still got, like, an actual job to do to stop or figure out who's this killer is that killed, who we know, Kiki.
Yeah.
And I was like, as I'm watching, I'm like, bro, is he trapped in the reality that he's living in now? Or is he, like, because the whole time, I'm like, all right, so he just go back in the past, and this is, like, the whole new timeline song? Because I was down there forgetting back in my head. I was like, wait. They sent him to Idwell where he's inside at Idwell. I'm like, I'm like, okay. So what is he gonna do throughout this whole time? So as the whole episode progresses, we see him pretty much like taking it day by day and talking to Momoki on the elevator. It's like, hey man, it's like I know exactly who's the one who killing these victims and all that. So let's go to his house. You go around back. Momoki's like so confused. Like, bro, what are you talking about? He's like, just go around back. And like you said, I'm thinking he's gonna show up. Once he knocking on the door, he is like, hey man, I know exactly who you are, bro. John Walker, yada yada. Is like, open the door, walk in there. It's like, hey, it's time to go to work, man. How you fought your victims, man? Let's go. And Buddy's just like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. But he said, yeah, I know you beat the world wrestler, martial artist. Let's get it. He just getting plowed. I was like, bro, pause. I was like, bro.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was like, ain't no way that you actually walk in there thinking you going to beat this dude who's standing on 10 toes just like you, well built and physique. I'm like, it's over, bro. Momoki's going to show up any given moment. No, my man just pull out the freaking gat and just start. Blah, blah. And I was also confused, bro. My man got shot like 6-7 times.
He's still going.
Still going, man.
Hey.
Dude broke his arm. Put him in chokehold. I was like, oh my God. The next thing you know, Momoki comes on the side just like, bro, what do you think you're doing? It's like, go downstairs, man. This explains everything. This explains everything that I'm doing right now. And it's just like, oh, all right. Like, I guess you got away with self-defense, man. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, this whole episode is kind of cool to me. Him reliving his life, and, you know, even Momoki was kind of just like, hey, bro, I know you're taking this day by day, but aren't you, like, actually doing a little bit too much? You know, he's like, nah, I'm doing all right. I'm just hanging with my family, man. He's like, you ain't messing with Johnny Walker stuff. He's like, nah. He's like, oh, well, cool, because the case is closed. Don't worry about it. And Buddy's got his own little secret hideout with all those information that he has, which I thought was kind of cool that he's still trying to figure out who John Walker is and all that stuff. But, yeah, this was kind of cool. And then showing that their whole dialogue, talking to Kiki in the hospital, how she kind of explains, like, yeah, every time, every dream is different. Every killer that John Walker, he used to start, but then it seemed like he brought his friends with him to also do the same thing with me. It was like, it was kind of wild, though. yeah. Whoa. It was definitely wild, though, how they say it. I was just like, dang, man. So he just brought every single serial killer in your dreams just to kill you in their own way. But, yeah, it was definitely a cool, trippy episode for me.
Yeah, it had me dead when he walk up to the challenge. He got the gun at first, and then he throw the gun. Like, oh, I don't need the gun. I'm about to beat your ass, whatever.
Yeah,
he started getting worked. Pull out a second gun. He said, "Bro, I thought we was fighting like men." He was like, "Yeah, bro, 1-on-1."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, he's pussy."
No, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like that whole fight was literally like that one meme that's like, yeah, your boyfriend 6 feet, bench 250, man, but he can't bench this bullet, man. Because it seemed like every time he really had the upper hand, he would be like, yeah, I tried. All right, okay, reset. I'm like, yeah, this nigga is crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. Definitely the whole mystery was revolving around Carter, who was kind of building up in this episode, starting to try to, figure out what's going on with that, get some clues with that. And then, of course, at the end, we get, like, the facelifter guy. He's put out of commission, basically. So they go ahead and deal with him before he can really, start his career.
Right.
Right. And I thought it was fire, though, because It was crazy because he was just in the hospital whistling like he ain't just took the face off this nurse. Opens the door. I'm like, oh, he's about to go in there, and they about to be like, oh, he sees us. But I was kind of unsuspecting. It kind of caught me off guard. He was like, oh, you're here? So you're one of us, bro. You supposed to let me go ahead and do what I'm supposed to do. He's like, nah, bro. Yeah. That's not how this going to go.
Crazy dialogue. He said, what you doing here, bro? This tonight, my night.
Right.
I'm like, what's to him, bro? What he got going on, okay?
Yeah, bro. That shit was wild, man.
Yeah. That shit. And then at the end, he's seen him. He like, I ain't even did shit yet.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That was all.
He
like
that was in a dream, bro. I ain't killed nobody yet, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
He
I
said,
ain't really
yeah,
do
nigga,
nothing.
I don't really give a fuck who you kill,
Yeah.
shit, nigga. I'm going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was crazy, though.
Y'all ready? 10?
Yeah.
All right. Episode 10. After spending more than a year in this Idwell, Sakado runs into Hondo Machi and gives her his investigative notes on John Walker before he is extracted to a previous layer of unconsciousness. Upon waking up, the perforator reveals that he still has his memories and their true location is Sakado's own Idwell.
Yeah, this was also another trippy episode. I kind of felt bad for Sakado when Hanamachi showed up. I was like, oh, so is he reliving the past where he's not? Well, obviously we showing real time on. He was never there when Hanamachi shows up to find the killer. So when he was there, I'm like, oh, so did he like alter his timeline or something? She's like, wait, you ain't supposed to be here.
Right.
Wait, now you're a part of Idwell. How long you been here? And then Buddy kind of just like, look at the time. You seeing distorted. She said, yeah, this happened like 2015. He let the time. It's like 2016, 2017. I was like, oh, bro, been here enjoying his life for like the past 2 years. I'm like, I'm like, oh,
I literally was like, bro, this bitch done ruined it.
Yeah.
This nigga been living with his family for 3 years.
Whole time. She trying to bring him back to reality. I was like, oh, damn. I mean, I feel bad for him, but I was like, same time, bro, you got sucked into it too much. Bro. Yeah, such to suck, man. Your family is going to die. He had made the phone call, too.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's kind of rough.
That shit was sad.
Yeah, that was kind of rough, though. Yeah, then the perforator, I thought that was kind of interesting dialogue when Hanamachi showed up, and she was pretty much like, yeah, pointing the gun at him. He got the drill in his hand. She was like, yeah, let's just not fight real quick, bro. You're going to help me out here because I know things that you don't know. He's like, you know what? All things that you say sound like what I would say. So you make a lot of sense. So how can I help you out? I'm just like, oh, damn, okay. That's how we gonna walk into it.
He's very reasonable, man.
Well, very reasonable. Which is kind of funny because I didn't know. I definitely didn't like his character before. And even up to this point, I kind of like the brilliant investigator of him, I would say.
Right.
Just because the fact when they did reveal, like, yeah, he retained his memories and all that through the whole time. So it was like, you know, whatever that y'all thought he didn't know, he knew everything. So I'm like, oh, shit. So when Sakado did wake up and he was just seeing him counting the numbers down and all that, I thought that was kind of trippy, too. And Sakado kind of was like, all right, you going to help me out here, bro, because just because you think that you got your memories, you about to fuck this Idwell up, no, you going to help me out.
Right.
But, yeah, episode 10 was also another cool episode. And we see that this, the Kiki's Well world was going to dissolve because of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was kind of questioning, like, how long could it be in a false world? Because it seemed like, you know, you're like 2 episodes in now, and it really didn't, like, show no signs of, like, slow. I'm like, is this going to be the rest of the series? Is he going to, like, handle, you know, John Walker from here or something?
Right.
Definitely good OST. The song they played during the little montage was great. I had, like, he finally was rescued from the false world. And then, of course, we get the whale storm at the end. And then we see, like, they're going into, you know, his own Idwell. So definitely an interesting episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely was trippy, man. All right. Y'all ready? 11. Episode 11. While time inside the Idwell is not synced with the outside world, Sakado and the perforator locate Hondo Machi. Inside the Idwell, Hondo Machi is able to find a few more clues, and the Kairu unit is able to uncover a deception. All this culminates in the the revelation of John Walker's true identity as well as the truth behind the Mizuhaname. Yeah, this episode was crazy. I feel like last episode, just after he met, just after Psychodope met Kiki and, you know what I mean, was like kind of sucked into her dreams and, you know what I mean, they kind of had a talk about she, you know what I mean, has this like telepathic ability to kind of bring people into her dreams and like share dreams with people. I kind of figured that either like the research or like the, you know what I mean, like the idea behind the Mizu Haname has to come from either research on her or something along those lines. So, you know what I mean, towards the end of this episode, once we find out that it's her, I'm like, okay, that definitely makes sense. I'm gonna say, yeah, and this is when obviously we find out it's Chief Hayasura, and I'm like, I've been known for 5 episodes it was him, because like I said, I'm like, it's a monopoly on information, bro. The one with the most information has gotta be this mystery killer or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
Yeah, I had of course John Walker's the only old man we've seen in the entire show.
Right.
We're talking about, like, even in the Idwell, he looked like an old ass man.
Yep.
And lo and behold, the only old man in the whole show is him. So obviously it immediately begs the question, like, what are his motives? You know, why is he doing this? And then at the end of the episode, we get like a Mecha Kaido. I thought that was interesting. We see her in like the little bodysuit thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, who the fuck is this? What's going on with this?
Yeah. I say that's Kiki, man. She got that neon Evangelion suit on.
Yeah, you kind of they talk about like how she's basically like the whole system.
Right, literally. Yeah, like they basically run it through her, I guess.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy though. Cause I think it was last episode or a couple episodes before Mo and Key was like, he reported like, yeah, she's gone missing. You know, can't find her. I was like, bro, she's dead in her deathbed. Like, I'm thinking John Walker took her and all that.
Oh yeah.
And
she put everybody in a coma.
Right. You know, cause he was talking about the research and doing the experimentations and stuff like that. She was like a great candidate because her telekinesis power. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, so, yeah, episode 11 definitely kind of cool though, especially when they found out that it was the chief. And next thing you know, it was definitely wild. Cause when I seen his eyes, man, I was like, bro, you look like you was a villain, man. My man had the organic red eye, old villain style, kind of generic creation.
I'm like, from the first episode, you don't even see his eyes. I was suspicious off the rip.
Like, bro,
I'm like, he's not always this happy, man. You cannot see his pupils.
My man look like Raph from Full Metal's Brotherhood, man. Eyes always closed. When he open, though, you know he's a villain. But yeah, damn. 11th episode was definitely cool, though. The dialogue between Sakudo and the perpetrator, yeah, I like that because he was pretty much trying to get him to kill him. He's like, I'm not no serial killer. You did that to yourself. You know, I'm actually an innocent guy. I don't kill people. The person I did kill, he deserved it 10 times over. So, but for you, no, I'm not gonna do it because I'm still his ethics are still intact. So I kind of write down for that note of his character. So yeah, it was definitely a nice thought episode.
Last one.
Two more.
That's 11. Oh no, man.
Yeah.
I'm tweaking.
All right, episode 12. Being exposed, John Walker unleashes Kiki onto the Kura building and the agents inside, as well as attack Sakudo and kill himself as he enters his own Idwell.
That was a wild scene, though.
Yeah.
Because I ain't expecting my man straight pulled the blicky out and just shot Sakudo right in the pelvis, and then he's like, yeah, man, I'm actually gonna live forever in this Idwell I'm about to create. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. I'm gonna head off myself in the real world, so they can't do no updates. And y'all ruined it for me. And I always thought that was like, damn, my man thought this was bad. But out immediately. So episode 12 definitely cool. It's just a chase. It seemed like Jordan went the whole time. We found John Walker. Now we can chase this old man down to his Idwell. But it was definitely cool. I was kind of tripped out by the masks that we seen, I was like, bro, these are masks of all the victims. So I was kind of confused by that, or was it the masks of just
Okay, I think like everybody who they're going to it.
I'm about to say that.
Oh,
He basically has said like since he was in her dreams so much, he was like his subconscious and her subconscious is damn the same, and each one of them masks.
Hanamachi and Psychedose?
No. I'm talking about John Walker and Kiki.
Kiki's?
Yeah, so and since obviously she can share other people's dreams,
yeah.
Every one of them masks was like another serial killer's Idwell across the world. Like she had all serial killers all over the world. That's why it was that big ass room, and like they had put one on and disappeared. That nigga was just like he was looking at a mask, and that's when he said he like, damn, this motherfucker damn near got every Idwell of every serial killer ever. I'ma just go around solving all the crimes. I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
So yeah. It definitely was trippy. I thought that was kinda cool. I know I had written down like as far as my notes, I was like, this nigga trying to transfer his consciousness. This nigga trying to run away. And I'm like, no, nigga, we on your ass. Them niggas sat down instantly like, yeah, load that nigga Idwell up. We're going in. I'm like, yeah, gunshot wound to the stomach, and that nigga don't care. He's like, I gotta catch him.
I was wondering, I was like, bro, is he gonna be in there? He's gonna die on the outside from just blood loss?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm like, yeah, how much time? You know what I mean? But I thought that was cool. I also thought like Kiki putting niggas to sleep. I'm like, I definitely put that. I'm like, damn, she down there killing niggas in their own mind. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool. But I just, you know what I mean? I didn't know if like she was like mad, you know what I mean? I
don't know how they
like I didn't know if she was upset, like, damn, y'all niggas been using me for this machine or what, cause you know what I mean? It wasn't like she was trying to run away. Like she wasn't, you know what I mean, like running through the halls trying to escape. Like she wasn't, but she also wasn't like attacking people or nothing. She was just you know what I mean, just walking through there. I'm like, damn, she on dirt. Like, which is why I thought she was low key like mad or trying to get revenge on the organization. So I wrote that down. I'm like, damn, they might have to kill her. Yeah, I'm like,
might. You don't have to, bro. Yeah, I was definitely weirded out by that because I'm thinking like, okay, what kind of, well, even before then, because they kind of like alluded to she got this weird telekinesis power or whatever, and I'm like, but how is she just gained that? Like, what's the, all right, there's another world. What's the premise of the power of this?
You said what? You said how she what?
Like she just got that power to just. Though when he was in the Idwell, you know, he can connect to her dream.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I'm like, okay, so was she like that in the real world or just outside world? Because they never really got explanation for that.
Right.
So, and then when she's walking through the hallways, I'm like, okay, is this the power that she's utilizing from the experiment or the helmet that y'all seen that the old man was using?
I think that was like to protect you from the effects of
it. I'm about to say, I think like when they first like found her and was testing it out, like, so I guess the cognition particles and shit, like the Mizuhane, they're able to do that through her type shit. Like
through her.
Yeah, like she had like in the real world, that's how she was putting niggas to sleep. Like she was like really like taking their mind and putting them in a dream and then fucking them up. Okay. So she could really do that. And then once bro found out that she could do that, that's when he started testing her and experimenting, and that's how they developed all their equipment and shit, which is why they was like, we don't want nobody to know too much, because nigga, the secret is we got a bitch in the basement that can do this.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? We got 11 from Stranger Things. She in the basement, and she keeping this shit running, nigga, basically. But nobody knew that.
Okay.
Yeah, which is crazy because I heard this whole time I thought she was like dead. They was like, oh, she escaped, and then like even in the one reality, which I guess was like her personal reality inside of everybody's Idwell, she basically had like alluded to that, and she was like, yeah, I keep having a dream where I die, and you know what I mean, she like, I don't really die, but like I just kind of dissipate, like I disintegrate, you know what I mean? And so then that's when I thought like, oh, maybe she died, and that's what made the cognition particles like come up, and that's how they're able to like locate them or find them and collect them and shit. But yeah, I don't really know. Like this show wasn't too. Yeah, I don't really know.
Okay. That's all
But I mean, I'm not saying I do know that. Like, I do know she was in that tank to, I guess, keep her from accidentally doing it.
Oh,
And then, yeah, because she had described it like a sleep. Basically, she was like, I was just in there in like a deep sleep, and you know what I mean? I thought I was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess they want to put her ass back to sleep and get them goddamn Mizu Haname's back operational.
Oh, okay.
I guess. Which is crazy, but.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had into the Idwell rabbit hole to chase the chief down.
Man.
It kind of gave me like a Channel Surfers type vibe where they just like chasing him through all the different Idwells.
I thought that was cool.
Obviously, the Mecha Kaido with the telekinesis shit. It was interesting to see like all the different worlds they were sending them to. We seen like the main people working in the lab. They was like in like the little planes getting like chased by the fucking boulder and shit.
Right.
But yeah, that was most of what I had for this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, episode 2 was alright. I definitely thought it was interesting once Momoki pretty much was like, oh, now I'm on a mission to stop Kiki, by whatever means with the old man. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Since I think he'll free his mind, I was like, all right, I know Kiki is alive now, but now I gotta save her.
Right.
Deal.
All right, man. Episode 13. As Hondo Machi and Psychodo do their best to outwit John Walker, the Kura unit fights to survive in the world they're placed, and Momoki gears up to be able to confront Kiki and stop her. This episode, I thought it was pretty cool. Like the different Idwills, like Jordan said, it did kind of give me like a Channel Surfer type vibe. I like how really just like the variation of different Idwills they went to, like the one with the baby. I thought that one was kind of crazy. I didn't know if that one was about like abortion or something, or like.
I thought like he was like trying to create something.
Nah. Remember, he was like, because when he had first got there, he was sitting on top of the baby, and he was like, "This Idwill is pretty interesting." And then he was like, "This means that whoever's Idwill this is, they went through something traumatic and vicious at a young age, because it's a big ass baby and it's like a pool of blood with sharks."
See, all I seen was like the big ass baby and him talking about like, you need to have seen like something fucked up from a young age or something. So I thought,
to create that,
create like.
Oh,
super fucking soldier killer. I'm like,
I'm gonna say that was somebody's Idwill, and I was about to say like that shit was kind of interesting. I thought that was cool. Other than that, I feel like they did. They did a good job of like outsmarting them. Like I felt like it was pretty. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? But like once it happened, I'm like. Hondo Machi did kind of, in earlier episodes and just throughout that episode, she did, or even when she was talking to the Perforator, she did kind of hint at like clues or things that like if you would have picked up on that, you would have seen what was happening before it happened. But so I thought that was kind of cool. I thought it was interesting. And then just, you know what I mean? The ending to me was kind of fraud because I'm like, I understand, I understand where Kiki's coming from, because, you know what I mean? She like, cuz I didn't ask for this power. I don't want it. And obviously, you feel me? She like, cuz I'm the one that keep dying in my dreams. Like, it's not like, right. You know what I mean? She like, it's not like I'm using this power to get money or information or blackmail. But like, she's not using it to none of her benefit. I'm like, she's suffering, you know what I mean? She's suffering every time she go to sleep. And then, obviously, it's creating a problem. It's creating other serial killers and niggas is able to exploit it, but you know what I mean? I'm like, cuz I don't know. It's just me personally, I'm like, with those extreme circumstances, I don't know if I would have been able to tell somebody that's hunted by the real life Freddy, like, yeah, man, I can't kill you. I could put you back in the machine, though. You know what I mean? I'm like, cuz she want to die. At this point, I'm like, bro, kill her. Like, she wants to die. I'm like, I gotta kill her. But
yes, please.
Yeah, that was just me, which I felt like the show, you know what I mean? I don't know if the show was kind of, obviously was setting up for the next season. Like, let's go back to the status quo, go back in the machine. We'll help you one day. But you know what I mean. I'm like, realistically, probably the most humane thing to do for her would have been to just put her out of misery because she's obviously was hella miserable.
For this episode, I had John caught and Momoki simping out.
Literally, low-key was.
And that whole scene with like him trying to get to her was fucking crazy because he like collapsed on the stairs.
That
and
was crazy.
Up, and then it like fucking revived the suit.
Bro. Administrative adrenaline.
Adrenaline. Defibrillator.
Drugs. Defibrillator.
Broken ribs.
Broke his chest
I was
open.
like, damn.
And then he dead.
Right.
And then just get back up. Oh,
Right.
boss, you too loud in my ear.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it pushing. I said, bro, what the fuck
Hey,
is
just
going
for him
on?
to get right next to her and be like, all right.
Yeah, we're just taking
What
off.
the hell, man? Yeah,
off,
baby,
man.
I feel like you. I'm
Maybe I
like,
feel like
cuz, is he
maybe I
okay
feel
or
like-
not?
Maybe I feel
Threw the
like
gun. I ain't know it was a bad bitch up here. I said, bro, come on, man.
I
That's,
swear
The
that's
mission,
how I
bro.
felt.
The mission.
man, the simp beater went over the limit. Yeah. Episode 13 was cool. I mean, I don't know if I was a fan of it. To be honest with you, because I was really just
I
getting
don't
by
know if I
it.
was a
I
fan of
think
it.
the only thing I really liked, the only thing I really liked was the fact that
What?
finally Saikado and Haramachi was able to case close John Walker.
Right, for sure.
You
Yeah.
know, that was like my only gripe was like, all right, can y'all actually close this case open?
Yeah,
Like, close
yeah.
this case of John Walker. Like my man just
Yeah.
jumping through different id wells and y'all can finally outsmart him. Which they did was cool because pretty much Haramachi kind of was the one who outwitted him.
Right.
Not really Saikado. I mean, he kind of helped out, but I mean, that was cool to see that. And like Jordan said, as far as that whole sequence with Kiki and Momoki, I wasn't a real fan of. But I mean, it was cool though. I guess they just leave an open book for like another season potentially to
Right.
save her, which I'm not even a fan of if they do that. But
It kind of reminded me of like that scene in The Dark Knight with the Joker when he's like in that building that's getting worked on at the top, and like Batman's like going up there and going up, and he got all the like people that's like they got the clown masks on, and, like the guns taped to their hands, like all the people that he got taken hostage, like basically dressed up as his goons. Kind of reminded me of that a little bit, just with the building and shit.
Yeah.
With the big glass windows.
Okay, I see what you're talking
And it's
about.
like nighttime, yeah.
Okay,
Nothing else though.
Gotcha.
And I like they had a nice little wrap up at the end,
Well,
like,
I was about to say,
setting up for the next season.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all watched the rest of that?
Just at the end of the episode,
Like,
I said
like,
like
yeah, I'm
until like the credits. I didn't see it. If it had an after credit scene, I didn't see an after
No, I
credit
didn't
scene.
see
There was
no
no
after
after
credit
Up until the
no.
credits, yeah, no. I seen
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
You didn't?
I did, but I spaced out.
I mean,
man.
Because I didn't really
It's
catch on
like-
what Psycho was talking about. So I kind of just like
As far as what you mean, when?
when they was going through, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, but like the abstract visuals you see on the screen, just that was leading just before the credits.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
just
man.
that was just him. Literally that was literally him. They was just saying like shit went back to normal. Like that was him entering the hit well. Like
Okay.
you know what I mean. Like my name is Psycho. I'm a brilliant detective. That's all he was. Yeah, it wasn't nothing crazy.
Oh,
The
okay.
only
Yeah.
difference is like they go in together now.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm about to say that's the only difference is him and Handomachi are like in there at the same time now.
Okay, yeah. Now I did see that, and I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. I'm glad
Yeah.
for that because what's his name? Because the one dude, he's like the new, I guess, chief. The dude with the bob cut hairstyle, he's new chief or whatever. And Momoki
That was
like,
fraud.
all
I thought Momoki would want to be chief, but man, I guess one of the little analyst dudes, he was like, hey, yeah, nigga, you go be chief. I'm in here with the
right.
I'm in here with the
Fucking
important
random.
shit.
I'm like, who is that?
I'm like, what the hell?
And then they already like on another killer. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
for a country that's not even like the size of California, like, what the fuck is going on? Y'all got a new serial killer every fucking week.
Right.
Whoa, taking niggas out.
Bro.
I'm like, most serial killers like hard to find, like not caught.
Right.
Like these niggas,
Like how tell them.
right? These niggas showing up at every murder, like cognition particle.
Right.
Hey, see if
Right.
this nigga killed anybody else, y'all. I'm like, bro, I don't think
They don't have killers, they just have serial killers.
Yeah,
What the
they don't
fuck?
even got killers.
We got a serial killer epidemic.
They said, man, if you killed once, that means you done killed before, and if it's your first time killing, it won't be your last, nigga.
Right. And I thought it was kind of interesting how they're using the particle tool every time because that scene where they in Momoki's crib and they was like, oh yeah, check the picture out. All right, it has it in this room. Now bring it back to the other room. It ain't there. Just like an old girl just said, Toga, I think, or told her name was just like, yeah, that wasn't there. The crime scene before.
Yeah,
it was like,
it was basically that's what Momoki was like. It's a trap because he like, nigga, I don't have no cognition particles in my shit. So.
Right.
If it is, nigga, that mean that they about to send him in his own it will, because that is not my killer particles, man.
Yeah.
But no, that definitely was fried. I thought the show, like, I had seen, like, online, like, different reviews, I guess people being a bit unsatisfied with, like, the show not diving into, like, the... like psychology or like how like different serial killers' minds work.
Right.
Which, you know what I mean? Like you think it would be a pretty good platform because you got this world created by their subconscious mind. But I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was cool. It, you know what I mean? It wasn't like it didn't have to do that to do what it did. I felt like it was cool.
Okay. Got anything else for the last episode?
Nah, that's it, man.
Last episode, nah.
All right, then, y'all. Let's get some final thoughts from the boys, man. What did we think of It Invaded? TJ?
Yeah, I was about to say I'll go first since I suggested it, man. Now I really enjoyed the show, man. Like I say all the time, didn't pay too much attention to the OST. Not really, you know what I mean? Like I will say that there were a couple scenes where the background music was hitting, and there was never a scene where I thought, like, why are they playing this music or this is out of place? It was never nothing like that. The OP was pretty cool. I mean, first time I heard it was pretty cool. Ending, I didn't really care too much for it. As far as the show, the characters, I pretty much liked all the characters. I feel like the characters in the unit, I'm like, I don't even think we learned everybody's name. I mean, you might have known them if you were paying attention, but I'm like, cause I really didn't take too much notice of them. But like, I would say most of the main characters and like the main parts of the supporting cast, I really enjoyed. Psychido, I thought was cool. Hondo Machi was pretty cool. The Perforator, he has his moments. He grew on me. I like the id wells. I like the art direction. I like the art design, like how the characters were designed. Nothing like crazy or like really wildly interesting. But I will say, like, as far as the depictions of the id wells, I thought were cool. A lot of them had like, you know what I mean, different moods, different feelings, different tones to them. So I thought that was pretty cool. As far as the story, I enjoyed it. Wasn't too... I will say I watched it in sub, so we talked about this off camera. It's kind of a bit much to follow when you first start the show. But once I got everybody's name down and was kind of, easy able to learn the name of things, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too complicated. I feel like the show might have had some concepts or like some story elements that some people, might be confused about or didn't feel like was explained well, but I feel like the show never hung too much on any one aspect, or even like things that are important or things that characters like recalled back on, things that characters were able to help piece other things in the show together. The show never focused too much on it, so it was just kind of like, if you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, you didn't. So to that, I feel like the show did a good job of like perpetuating the mystery. From the first couple episodes, I had a lot of questions, and you know what I mean? I really was following the show like I was a detective trying to, figure things up, trying to figure it out before we actually got to the conclusion. So I enjoyed that. I feel like I enjoyed my time watching it. I give the show like a solid 7. It's pretty cool. I feel like it definitely could have been better. There was a lot of characters that, like really couldn't have been there. Like the investigation unit could have been like Momoki and the assistant director for real. If we being honest, it could have been them two in the room and not much would have changed. So yeah, I feel like certain characters were kind of hit or miss for me. Like I said, some things were kind of complicated, but it wasn't too bad.
So 7?
7.
Favorite character?
Favorite character, by far, Hondo Machi. I feel like she was pretty cool. I feel like she had a lot of spunk. Yeah, man, I liked her character design. She was standing on business.
All right.
For sure.
I'm gonna start with what I liked. I like the sound and the music for this show. The OST was great. I definitely had at least 3 separate episodes pointed out with good background music, 3 different songs. The opening was about average, not bad, not crazy. The ending, I felt like the ending was above average. I like the song for the ending. Now on to what I didn't like. The story. I'm biased. Like I'm not really into like murder mystery type shows, like Criminal Minds, CSI Miami, shows like that. Just I'm not really into like those kind of like cop show murder mysteries. So it really just didn't click for me. The characters, none of the characters really grew on me. The characters that had like big roles to play in a story, I felt like they did a good job, decent, to play their role, fill their role in the story, but no like big anime personalities or anything like that stood out to me. And then as for like the animation and art, I'm not too familiar with like Nas Studios works, but I just felt like the animation for something that came out in 2020 was somewhat lackluster. Like and then this really didn't have like a lot of action, so it's not like they had like room to showcase everything they can do. But it was kind of hit or miss. The art style, the characters to me look very generic, so I wasn't really too keyed in on the art style. There was really nothing unique. I didn't feel like they really went out of their way to do anything unique with the art style. A lot of the characters to me had generic designs. So yeah, with that being said, I'll probably get us about a 4.5. I was not, I didn't really enjoy this that much. Yeah, it's probably a pass for me. Favorite character. I don't even think I had a favorite character, y'all. I can't even lie. I can't even sit here and lie to y'all.
Yeah, a favorite. Not even a like character. Like it. Yeah.
Nah, I feel you when you said that with the
Not really.
personality wise. I'm like, yeah, not really.
The sound was good though. I like the sound.
Cool. Oh, my turn. I agree with Jordan, especially with the OST. I like the opening a lot. I like the opening a lot more than the ending. To me, it was cool. The soundtrack they utilized in different scenes, especially like the moments where they chasing down the suspects, were kind of cool. I think it was episode 11 or 12. There was an episode where they showed Psycho, and I think it was when he came face to face with John Walker the first time when they was chasing him and they killed him. I don't know what the soundtrack that they utilized, but it was pretty good. It grabbed my attention really well, so I liked that aspect of it. So yeah, the soundtracks was cool that they utilized in the show. I'm with Jordan again with the characters. There weren't much of none of them really grabbed my attention to me that I'll gravitate to. Like I said, personality wise, was super lackluster in that department. My favorite character on there was what T said, Hadamachi. The second one would be crazy enough to say would be it really a tie with second. It'd be Sakudo or the Perforator. Just because we see that he's a murderer in the first half of it, but then second, once he became like the brilliant investigator going to that it was kind of cool seeing the change the face of him, but still have his same personality intact. He kind of like switched over to being the good guys, but he really still, was a murderer at the same time. So that was kind of cool. Least favorite character on the show. I don't know. I guess it's all the supporting characters they have on there because ain't none of them were likable. You don't really pay much attention to him at all. Even Momoki, when he has his screen time, it didn't really do no justice for me. Right. The plot of this whole story, this show, it was cool. Just find John Walker, because he's the mastermind of the whole plot killings that's going on in every single id that had to do with Kiki. Yeah. But I will say my enjoyment was kind of high. If I had to rate the show out of enjoyment, it would be like an 8, just because I was so invested with the murder mystery. I know Jordan's not into that, but like for me, it was kind of cool. Cause like I said before, I didn't write no notes watching my first 2. I had to go back just because I was kind of invested with every scene that they was doing with like, all right, who's the killer and how these Ed wells work with Psycho jumping into them, and just these cool, unique aspects of every Ed well. We seen that. The first one, his left arms were missing. We see that a lot of them had different shape shifting aspect or elemental effects to them. Different it was kind of cool design. So the enjoyment of the show was really high for me. The theme, I didn't really understand the theme of the show. I mean, if you guys explain that to me, I don't understand the theme of the show if there was any. But I mean, other than that, I say the rating I'll give the show would be like a 6, only because I just enjoyed the mystery part of it, and I was kind of like very invested with like the investigators and everything. But they could have done a little bit better job of supporting the cast. The plot was okay. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, it wasn't the worst, but it's very mid. The soundtrack was cool. The characters that you will gravitate to, Hadamachi, Psycho, they pretty much like the MC of the show. Once they get their screen time, like Hadamachi, right off the bat on episode 2 and moving forward. So yeah, this show is pretty much about like a 6 for me.
All right, so we got a 6, a 4.5, and a, what'd you say, a 7? 7? All right.
Okay.
That'll be our final thoughts. Going on to next week, man.
Next week, what is it?
Oh, man. Next week, man, we'll be watching the original Hellsing.
Oh!
Man. Finally get some heat, man, back on the podcast, man.
Talking about Hellsing Ultimate?
No. Original Hellsing.
Original Hellsing. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen the original. So.
Okay. Bet.
Okay.
There's something brand new. Put the eyes on Alucard again. Okay.
I mean, it's Hellsing. You know what I mean?
Hellsing, the British is what he meant to say.
That's basically Ultimate. All right. You want to give like just thoughts on Hellsing or any experience?
I have no experience with Hellsing at all. I mean, I seen Hellsing Ultimate. Well, I ain't gonna say I finished Hellsing Ultimate because I seen it so long ago when it first came out. But it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't my kind of anime with the whole vampire stuff like that. Even though it had the action and gore to it that I do like. But I think at that time that wasn't kind of my thing, watching that kind of show exactly. So I kind of dropped it. But funny enough, I watched all the abridged of Hellsing. So just seeing that was like, I give it a shot at some point, but I don't know when exactly. So the fact that he's recommending now is all right, cool. So now we're going to check out how Hellsing is. I know a lot of people enjoy Hellsing. Hellsing Ultimate rather than Hellsing, I guess. So yeah, I have a little experience into it.
Me personally, I've seen Hellsing Ultimate. It has been a while. It's probably honestly been like 7 years. 7, 5, 6, 7 years since I've seen Hellsing Ultimate. Okay. It is like one of my favorite shows, just as far as like, you know what I mean, as we talk about action and gore, and then Alucard the GOAT, like, come on now. I have not seen the original Hellsing though. When I watched Ultimate, I heard that a lot of people preferred it over the original, so I just never went to watch the original, but I'm excited either way, man. Can't be that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find some part of it that I enjoy. So, just excited to, you know what I mean, get into it and see what it's talking about.
Okay. This would be my second watch through the original Hellsing. I actually watched the original before I watched Ultimate. Just things that stood out for me. The opening slaps. I love the opening for the original Hellsing. Just a sin that Hellsing Ultimate didn't have an opening when the original had such a great opening. And I kind of like a lot of the same story beats at the very beginning. with this obviously following the manga, it just the difference between this and Ultimate is it strays from the manga the further it goes on. But I really like the time that it dedicated in the beginning, more so to like Ceres's characterization in the beginning and her like struggles with accepting the fact that she's a vampire now. That really stood out to me when comparing it to Ultimate, because kind of like what you hear with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, they kind of compared to the original, they skip past a lot of the stuff at the very beginning. They like rush through it, and I kind of got that same sense with Hellsing Ultimate versus the original. I liked that they took their time with a lot of the stuff at the very beginning, and I think that they did a better job developing it. But definitely still worth a watch. Excited to talk about it with the boys next week.
How many episodes?
I think it's like 13.
Oh, okay.
13. I don't think it's too many episodes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Anyways, that was our review of Id Invaded, man.
Yeah.
What did we get right? What did we get wrong, man? Tell us
So-
down in the comments, man. What did you think of this show? If you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, did we convince you to go watch it? Social media links down in the description, man. Follow us on the Otaku Perspective pages for any updates, anything like that. All that being said, man, to see our review of Hellsing, catch y'all next week. Otaku Perspective out.
From nothing, but it don't show. Ain't no telling